Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
Then how can we help?
Oh, hi guys. Thanks for taking the call.
You bet. What's going on?
So I'm looking for some advice. Me and my wife just recently got on the Ramsey plan. We're on baby step 2. And I'm a full-time high school teacher. And I've taken a part-time EMS job when I'm out on vacation and on the weekends and stuff. And I do some food delivery to try to just pack as much money as we can to this debt.
Wow.
But I'm afraid that my wife's getting overwhelmed by it. So
because you're not home.
What's going on, man? You're pretty emotional right now. What are you feeling?
It's like a baby Christian. I don't want to be so intense that she's like, oh, you won't let us do anything and this and that.
What's going on?
I don't know how to have that.
What's she saying?
Have that conversation.
Well, take us to what's going on with you guys relationally. What are you feeling from her? What are you hearing from her that you would call us about this?
Well, for instance, she works full time at home. Mm-hmm. We have 2 kids.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And so when I'm like, all right, I'm going to go, I have a goal to make $50 a day with food delivery.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
5 days a week, so that's an extra $1,000 a month. And then on Saturdays, I go work this EMS job, which are 24-hour shifts.
Oh man!
And that's an extra $360 each day I do that. And then, but she still is like, well, you think you can stay home tonight so that we can clean the house and get ready for our Christmas brunch that's coming up.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, well, you think that maybe you could pick up a little bit of that so that we can continue to stay on plan?
Okay, I see what's going on here.
And then I get kind of negative feedback. Well, so now you're not here to help around in the house and stuff like that. And I
let me ask a couple clarifying questions. When you said she works full time, does she work full time as a stay-at-home mom, or does she work full time at a job that is work from home?
Yeah, a job that work from home.
Okay, but the kids are also there too, so that kind of falls on her as well.
Right, when they're not in school. Like right now, we're on Christmas break.
I totally get that. Okay, and then can you tell me how much debt do you guys have? Because I'm trying to understand. I mean, I get the intensity, but I just want to get a bigger picture. Okay,
so we have about $26,000 in cars and credit cards.
Break it down.
And
what's the cars and what's the credit cards?
My wife's car's almost paid off. It's got $3,000 left. My truck's got $11,000 left. And then we have about $15,000 in credit cards.
Okay.
And then another $10,000 around that I owe to my mother-in-law.
So
to my stepmother,
what's the payoff date if you didn't miss any night scheduled? You've got this thing figured out. If you stay on this pace, what do you anticipate the day would be? How far in the future before you pay off this debt?
I told my wife we can do it in 6 months. Not our house. I have a house.
Sure.
Uh-huh.
So let me just tell you, hey,
23 on that.
So Steven, man to man here. I love this intensity, but this is a 6-month window. It'd be different if this were a 6-year and you guys had to be that intense. I love the intensity. I think you have to downshift in moments like this. When your wife is giving you the signal, you read it, man. You've been married long enough, going after it. But if there's a holiday party in the situation you gave us, I think the answer, and this is not criticism, you called. So I'm going to tell you as a dude, just my take here in that situation, you take the night off from gazelle intensity and you jump in and help her out. Mm-hmm. I think if you guys were in much bigger debt and it were far more intense, I think there's a conversation to be had to say, hey, babe, I got to do this. We got to be all in. But I think given this situation, I don't think this is 3 or 4 nights a week. I think you sit down with her and go, hey, I'm doing this to sprint, hang in there. But if you need that kind of emergency situation, raise your hand, and I'm going to be more sensitive next time, and I'll jump in. That would be my take in this situation.
What's you guys' combined income yearly? You mentioned all the things you're doing, but what does that amount to?
So that's recent, the EMS job and stuff. But so right now we make about 110 gross together, just at our regular jobs. and I'm looking to bring in. I got planned to bring in $3,000 extra a month, so about $30,000 more, so maybe about $140,000.
Fantastic.
If I stay on this track.
Okay, so you're basically saying our normal budget stays the same, and I'm side hustling to pay off. I get it.
That caused a little trouble too, because then we stripped the budget way down as well. We cut off some streaming services.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It almost needs to be one or the other, because you've got $39,000 of debt, and you just outlined a plan where you're side hustling to bring in an extra almost $40,000. So if the side hustling alone is paying off the debt, then like I'm trying to find a way where you guys can balance this out a little bit more. Does that make sense? Because if
I understand.
If you're going to bring in $40,000 a year and this is a full year play, as opposed to you just trying to, like, to Ken's point, just squeak this thing out in 6 months, I do think that, if you can get her on board, fine. But like Ken said, if she's having these moments where she's throwing a flag on the play, like, listen, we haven't seen you. We don't even remember what you look like, dude. Like, you do have to cool out for a minute, right?
Yeah.
And I think that I think there's room for you to take the pedal off the metal just a little bit.
Yeah.
Right, great. Because I don't want to burn her out. So I guess that's
very
what
smart.
I was looking for to say.
Your instincts are right.
Yeah, she's like a baby bird. Sometimes you got to get them to keep coming to you.
Stephen, I think your instincts are right. You called us. We're validating your instincts. Your instincts are right. You're pushing really hard, and it's affecting her. And you don't want to lose her in the midst of this cause. The cause is not as important as her and the kids.
Right,
so,
because it's not. At that point, what's the point?
Especially during this season.
That's right. But listen, my man, she seems to be all in. We heard no signs of her not being all in. It's just, hey, we got a holiday party and I'm swamped with the kids and I'm exhausted. I also think it's important for you to show some appreciation to her for her being all in. And you know what? Maybe take a night coming up in the next couple weeks and totally surprise her and say, hey, babe, here's a little money that I've been making on the side hustle. Go out with some of your best girlfriends. Have a nice night. I'll take care of the kids.
All right, Ken Coleman.
Do you know what? I mean, what do you think, Jade? I think that's a teamwork play.
That's a teamwork play.
Because I'm honoring all the moms out there, because my wife has done both. Stacy has fluctuated between being a work out of the home and a work in the home. Notice I say work in the home because that's a lot of work. And there are times where it's really good, guys, for us to just acknowledge the partner in the situation and say, hey, you know what? I appreciate you being on board.
And what it is
when
you're going at that pace, you have to ahead of time say what the milestones are going to be.
Yes.
When we pay off this car, we get this.
Right.
When we do this, and it sounds like they don't have those milestones in place, and that is so important.
You need like a cheat day. These big time athletes.
That's right.
Like I follow The Rock. No big deal.
Listen,
I like
those
The Rock.
cheat meals.
Have you seen the man's cheat meals? It's pretty fantastic. So even one of the greatest athletes, actors, get after it guys in the world, you got those down days. I think mama needs a little time off every once in a while, and you can fund that. And then we keep going with great momentum. Stephen, you're a good man and a good husband.
Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life. Moses is with us in New York. Hey, Moses, how are you?
Good. By the grace of God, doing better than I deserve, and I already know you're doing the same.
Just the same. How can I help?
Yeah, so I am currently consumer debt free. I have a mortgage to pay. I just bought a house, and I was wondering what your thoughts are on installing solar panels paid in full in cash. Your thoughts on that?
Well, they have come a long way in the last decade in terms of efficiency, and your return on investment is a lot better than it used to be. Obviously, some areas of the country get more sun than other areas, and so in your particular area, they can do a pretty good analysis, and the other piece of information that enters into it is the cost of utilities in your area. And so we are, in Tennessee, we have this thing called TVA, the Tennessee Valley Authority, that has worked very well to keep our utility costs way lower than most of the rest of the country. But for instance, in California, where the utility costs are very high and there's a lot of sun, it makes a ton of sense to do solar. In an area like Tennessee, it can make sense, or an area like New York, it can make sense. You just would have to run the numbers out on it, and probably one of the solar guys can give you some really solid data on it. because it has to do with number of hours of sunshine in a year, and the cost of utilities gives you your payback on it, right? That's your return on investment. But the good news is they have become much more reasonable in cost and much more efficient. The technology is improving every day in that world. And so I'm a big fan of solar panels. I endorse them in several cities around America with local people that install them, and I've looked at the numbers on those. I don't, in full disclosure, I don't have them on my home because I haven't found the way I wanted to do it. I live on the side of a hill with a lot of wind, and so anyway, I'm not doing it. But but mathematically, if you're paying cash for them, no payments, in some areas the return on investment is excellent. In other areas, it's good. And so you just look at what your break even is. And, of course, you'd want to break even on them before you sold the house.
Right.
Because the idea that they increase the value of the house by the cost of the solar panels is not true in most areas. You need to make your money back on the utility bill. And then if your house brings a little more because it's got panels on it later when you sell it, fine. So, in other words, you got to break even on the solar panel of 3.5 years, and you're going to sell your house in 2 years. You don't want to buy them. But if you're going to stay in the home a long time, then you can run the analysis with some local people in your area. And my general comment is, in general, I'm a fan. In some areas, I'm a big fan of the math. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, click the subscribe button to get the latest content and check out these other great clips from the show. Thank you for joining us, America. We're glad you're here. Ken is with us from, am I reading this right? Alaska.
Yes, sir.
Welcome, brother. Good to have you.
Good to be here.
You're here to do your debt-free scream all the way from Alaska?
Yes, sir. I'm hoping they hear it up there today.
Well, we'll have to make it good and loud. It's a ways up there from Tennessee.
Yes, sir.
So what do you do in Alaska?
Working oil fields.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool. So did you fly down, drive down, what?
Combination. Actually, I rode my motorcycle from Washington over here about back in July, and then went back to work, and I just come back down here, and so we're out riding again, me and my buddy. So
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Very cool. So how much debt have you paid off, Ken?
$394,000.
Good Lord. That's amazing.
Yeah.
How long did that take you?
I did it in 18 months.
Whoa. You must have sold something. What'd you sell?
Sold a house.
Okay.
So I'm homeless right now, but I'm okay with it. Yeah.
That's fun. So how much did the house sell for?
$245,000.
Okay. So that's $245 of the $394. So you still got like $160,000, right?
Yes, sir.
And what's your income, sir?
About $150,000 a year.
Okay. In the oil field in Alaska, huh?
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. So how did you do the rest of the $160,000 in 18 months, making $150,000?
Well, my job is a 2-on, 2-off schedule, so we work 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, and I ended up doing 3 weeks on, 1 week off. And my week off, I didn't go anywhere, I didn't do anything. In fact, I picked up a little extra cash washing cars in my brother's garage, detailing and stuff, and so I just went gazelle, man, like nobody's business. So
you just went crazy. So what kind of, other than the house, what kind of debt did you have?
I had taxes, credit cards, furniture, a motorcycle, snow machine, and a couple lines of credit.
What's the dumbest thing you ever bought?
Well, I don't know. Lots of stuff.
Okay. What happened 18 months ago that made you decide you needed to get out of debt and could get out of debt?
I'd actually gone to Michigan to see a buddy of mine that was dying. And so I spent the last bit of money I had and the end of my credit card line, and found myself in a hotel room one night because I blew up my motorcycle there in Michigan. And I was sitting in the hotel room begging the credit card company to give me another $1,000 line of credit so I could make it back home. I don't know how I did it, but I managed to get back home, and I said, I'm done with this. I ain't living like this no more, especially with the money I make. And that's what it was. And I just started January 7th. I wrote down all my debts, littlest to biggest, and I just nailed them.
Yeah, you did, man. You went after it.
Yeah.
Very cool. So how'd you get connected to us?
Listen to the radio up in the oil fields up there. We get you're on the air every day from 9 to 11. All the boys are up listening right now to me. So
Oh, cool.
yeah, and that's how I got hooked up with it. And a buddy of mine kind of got me, steered that way too. So yeah.
But you had to have that moment in that hotel room where you said, I'm sick of this. I'm too old to be living like this. I make too much money to be living like this. It's time to fix my life.
Amen there.
Good for you.
Yes, indeed.
Proud of you, man.
Thank you.
That's very, very neat.
Yeah.
Very cool. So what do you tell people the secret to getting out of debt is, Ken?
The final goal, the weight off your shoulders. It's like freedom. Nobody owns me no more.
Have you ever been without debt?
Yeah. When I first started in the oil field, I got out of debt, and then I just got caught up and went normal.
Yeah.
And buried myself, and I don't think I'm that normal anymore.
No, you're not. That's for sure, brother.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. Welcome to weirdness.
Amen.
We have a club that you have joined. I'll tell you that. Woo-hoo. Yeah, I love it. That's fun. How old are you?
Actually, 2 days ago, I hit the big 50.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So,
Very cool. So, what's the story? I saw the helmet when you came in. You got like a Viking horns on your helmet or something. Was there a story to that, or you just like being a character?
a combination, both. I bought it a few years ago when I was out in Sturgis for the motorcycle rally.
Oh, it fits in there, yeah.
Yep, and whenever I have to wear a helmet in the States down here, that's when I wear. Figure they pretty much can't not see me with that on.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. It does help the drivers to notice, yeah.
Yes,
and that
indeed.
way they don't run over you.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well,
Yes.
our state is one of the ones that requires that. So, Oh, there it is. Yeah, for those of you at home watching on the TV, now you get to see the helmet. Well, it's got a mullet built into it too.
Oh,
so.
yeah. And I got my own mullet, too.
Yeah,
so.
you got your own, so it's a continuation of your own. That's good.
Yeah. Yes,
Very
indeed.
fun. You're fun, brother. This
Thank
is
you.
very cool. So, what advice do you give people who are trying to get out of debt? Because you've done an amazing thing here. $394,000 paid off is no small step, dude. This is impressive.
It just got to hold on to that light at the end of the tunnel, and when you get there, you go, "Oh, it's so worth it." It was amazing, and the guys at work, kept telling me I was crazy for doing them long hitches, 3-and-1s, and not doing anything else. You're crazy, and I'm telling you, I'm getting this done. I'm doing it. And well, when I paid that last one off and the release, I mean, it was just there's nobody owns me. That's just amazing, and my bank account's been going.
Yeah, it goes crazy because you got nothing to do with it now.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yep.
you make $150,000 a year, no payments, you get some money piled up pretty quick.
Yes, indeed.
That's
I have
beautiful.
been playing a little bit since then, no, but
Well, you've earned it. You live like no one else. Later, you get to live like no one else.
Yep. So I get back in the game here and a little more normal here when I get
well,
done.
as far as your life goes, but you won't ever be normal financially again.
No.
So you cut up all the credit cards, of course.
Yes. First thing I did, and well, that was fun. I like that.
Yeah.
No
that's
more.
fun.
Yeah.
So tell people how it feels to be free.
You'll hear in a minute when I do my scream.
All right, that'll do. All right, Ken, you're a lot of fun, man. Alaska, $394,000 paid off. 160 of that cash flow, 245 of it the house. He did it in 18 months working on the oil field, 3-and-1s. $150,000 a year income. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1. I'm debt free!
All right. That is fun. That's fun. Guys, if you do not have the app to watch the show happen, you can get a free app for your iPhone or your iPad. You can watch it at daveramsey.com/Dave. You missed some pretty cool moments. I mean, you missed a guy who really fun. That was a lot of fun. You missed his helmet. You missed his hairdo. but you missed his passion too. You could hear it on the radio, but man, when you see it, it's just, you got to be watching, especially the debt-free screams. You got to be watching them. So that's why we do it. We do an HD TV show version of this live. It's nothing special. When it's me on, it's like watching ugly paint dry. But you can watch the whole thing, right? And so again, you can get a free app at the in the App Store and download it for your iPhone or iPad, or you can watch it at our website, and it's mobile friendly for the other versions. Okay, so DaveRamsey.com/show. Get in there, learn about it, watch this thing. About 500,000 people watch it, so you need to be one of those. And it's very, very well done. Our team spends a lot of talent and money to make sure it's well done every day. Both of those cost money. But anyway, it's very well done. So, oh, man, that was cool. And I wish you'd seen it. Well, you could see it. It's on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So you can go download the app right now, and in about 3 hours you can watch it. Because when I go off the air, the show starts over again. And goes and stays on 24 hours a day until I come back on. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.
All right, folks, if you just saw the powerful story from Ken from Alaska, he's here on the bike. Dave is coming out to congratulate Ken.
That's awesome, brother.
How awesome.
That was very cool. Very cool. That is a blast. Absolutely awesome. Beautiful bike.
Tell us about the bike.
Actually, it was one of my debts that I paid off quick. It's a 2010 Road King, and I didn't change a lot of just handlebars, and I just love riding. It's my life, and so now I got total freedom. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
The helmet's coming. There it is, folks. There's your special treat. You're going to see this. Hey, come here for a second, Dave, real quick, because he was overcome with emotion as he was sitting here, folks, waiting for us to come back live, and he's sitting here. And I just want you to share, you said it was amazing, that you don't owe anything to anybody. Nobody owns you. But now the release. What's going through your head and heart right now?
Just racing, just overwhelmed and want to break down. Yeah. That's huge. Yeah.
Dave, what's it like to see a powerful man like this just realize the sheer emotion of the journey? Look at the emotion. It's unbelievable.
Fun. Yeah. It's fun. It shows that there's more to this than just math. Right. This is not just a math problem. It's not just a money thing. Because as what he kept saying over and over is right. I mean, the borrower is slave to the lender. You don't own me anymore. Yeah. Nobody owns me anymore. Yeah. And it feels different to ride a bike down the highway, man, when you don't owe anybody. It does. That's a real freedom. That's very cool stuff. So.
And for those of you watching out there on your journey, if you see the emotion right here, this is what it looks like and feels like.
Get out of the way.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. So here you are. All right. So now you're an oil worker. I really want people to understand how hard work the oil fields are. I mean, how tough just physically is this kind of work?
It's pretty demanding. My job is not quite as demanding physically anymore, but it's still busy. It's a lot of long hours, minimum 12-hour days, a lot of overtime, and we sacrifice a lot. We're gone from family and friends, for that time that we're at work, and we're actually in the Arctic, 200 miles above the Arctic Circle, so it's not uncommon for us in the wintertime to see 30, 40 below and have to be out working and that stuff. So it's, so the sacrifice and get to where I'm at was huge.
Well, it's so great to see this. So we gotta ask, are you going to drive this all the way back? Do you stop in Washington, fly back? What's the journey now?
I gotta work with a lot of friends that commute back and forth from Alaska and live down here in the States, and I'm just going ride and enjoy some time, some freedom, some real freedom.
Brought to you by YRefi. Refinance your defaulted private student loans today at yrefi.com/Ramsey.
All right. Today's question comes from Tarek in Washington, D.C. He says, I understand your advice that a house payment should be close to a quarter of your take-home pay. However, if someone is a high-income earner, say $20,000 a month, couldn't the percentage be higher? If the mortgage were 40%, that would still leave $12,000 a month for all other expenses. Would a sliding scale be more applicable depending on income? For this,
you want to buy a bigger house.
He wants to buy a bigger house. I mean, that's probably, Dave, there's probably a point where it does run out, right? Like when you're really just Dave Ramsey. I could see
I don't have a house payment, so it doesn't
that's
work
true.
That way.
But I mean, there could probably be a point where it doesn't hold as much water, but I think at that level that you're talking about, it still does. Because really the way I think about it is all of these percentages as a whole. So if you say, okay, 25%, that's going to my mortgage. And then, at some you're going to need to be investing 15%, into at least 15%, right, into mutual funds. Then if we say, generosity is important. So you're going to be needing to do 10% there. And let's just say, now you're in baby steps 5 and 6 too. So you've got kids' college and maybe you're paying extra towards the house. That could be another 10%. So now we're at 60%. And we really we haven't gone on vacation. We haven't just been living life. So you see that the money goes very quickly. And that for me is why 25% is, it makes it to where that house is a blessing and not a burden. And when you start creeping above that, you will find, especially depending on season of life, you will find that it's too tight to make everything work. If you're trying to cash flow college, if you're trying to cash flow daycare, when you are out of whack in those areas, you will feel it very quickly. And that for me is a real time example of that.
Yeah. No, Tariq, a sliding scale would not be appropriate. A percentage is appropriate because a sliding scale would make the assumption that you're going to keep the stupid mortgage. I want you to pay off the stupid mortgage. Mm-hmm. And if you keep the percentages down, you can pay off the stupid mortgage. We're not keeping it. It's not a pet. We're not trying to manage our debt. We're trying to freaking kill it. So that changes the discussion, dude. If you want to keep it around like a pet, then a sliding scale would be applicable. But wealthy people don't do that. Wealthy people pay off their mortgage, as is told to us in the data when we studied more millionaires than anyone else has ever studied in the Ramsey Research Project. They pay off their mortgage, Tariq. They don't keep it around and manage it. So, no, you just want a bigger house. That's all it is. No.
And
get your stinking debt down and pay it off and kill it fast. Then you can build wealth and do anything you want to do at that point from that point on.
Yeah, because you're just looking at the numbers and you're going $12,000. I'll still have $12,000. That's a lot of money. But you're not thinking about all of the other things that you will need to do with that money
like
that make
throw that money at the debt so you kill the debt.
That's right.
Instead of, it's not, we're not trying to manage this. Mm-hmm. Why refi? Refinances delinquent private student loans for struggling borrowers. Learn more at yrefy.com/Ramsey. Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
Just give you a little backstory. My wife and I are debt-free. We're saving up for our fully funded emergency fund right now, and then we plan to start investing from there to fund our retirement.
Cool.
But yeah, so we're super blessed, grateful to be debt-free. But so my question is, though, how can we be sure that the dollar is going to maintain its value over the next 30 years, since we are going to be investing and following, what you guys recommend in like mutual funds, 401k? Like, should we be worried about the economy, or what are you guys' take on that?
Where's that question coming from? It's a question I hear all over the. I mean, I hear that question everywhere, and I've actually lost many a night's sleep over that question. Where are you getting it from?
So, I have some friends and they're talking about, Bitcoin and all these cryptocurrencies, and I'm not going that route, but I don't have when they say, well, what about the dollar? I don't really have a good answer or a rebuttal as to why dollar is going to, maintain its value over something like cryptocurrency. So I just wanted to I guess it's coming from, what is trending.
It's just kind of in the air, yeah. I'm going to give you my very primitive answer, and George, who's way smarter on this stuff, will give you a more sophisticated answer.
Okay.
Can I guarantee anything over the next 30 years? No, you can't. But here's what I can guarantee you. If the U.S. dollar, if we woke up one day and the U.S. dollar had collapsed as a global currency, as a localized currency, Bitcoin would not save you. Having an alternative, we've got this special email account with these special zeros and ones and zeros in it that say it's worth stuff. Because the world's debt is in U.S. dollars. Bitcoins are bought and traded in U.S. dollars. Everything revolves around that. And so when people are calling for the collapse of the dollar, I can't guarantee you it's not going to happen. What I will guarantee you is you'll be fending off your neighbor because they're going to be trying to kill you for your water. Like you're going to be figuring out how to walk 30 miles to work, to an office that doesn't exist anymore because there's no gas to put in a car. Like it will so change the way we do life for a while that,
right.
As one of my buddies told me, he's a bank executive, and he said, hey, because I was just peppering him with these questions, and it was actually the response that freed me. He looked at me and said, hey man, I don't have a meteorite plan. I don't have a plan for if the world gets hit by a meteorite. I'm not building that world up. Right? I will deal with that if it happens. But until then, I'm going to do the next best smart right thing that I got, which is buy real estate and invest wisely.
Right.
And so I
Oh,
think
that's good.
most people don't have a what kind of scorched earth it would be if Wall Street goes away. Right?
Definitely. No, that's super good.
All right, that was
brings me a lot
my
of peace.
my dragons and like swords answer. What do you think, George?
I fell asleep about 3 seconds into that, John.
I know you did.
I was bored to tears. No, I'm just kidding. That was a really good answer. And I have similar things to say, but I'll add to that and tell you this. I grew up in a very evangelical household. My mom can't wait for Jesus to come back, right? She sang the songs, she watched Left Behind, we were all in. And so my thing is always Jesus could come back tomorrow, and that could waste all of the effort I made trying to save up this retirement account. But also, what if it's not tomorrow and I still have to feed my family? And I kind of feel the same way about the crypto. Yes, the dollar could get devalued. I don't think it's going to collapse. If that happened, we're not worried about crypto, like John said. We're worried about feeding, trading for gas and ammo at that point. And so to your point, I'm going to invest 15% into mutual funds in the stock market because for decades and decades and decades, I know there's a large chance of a 10% return. With crypto, I'm losing sleep because 24/7 that number is moving and the goalpost is moving, and now it's down 50%, but now it's up 1,000%. And what if I had just gotten in? And instead, I just want to live with peace. I want to sleep well at night. I got to go to work in the morning. And so for that reason, it's fine to keep those friends around. They're probably good guys, well-meaning, who want to take care of their families too, but it's not a peaceful way to live. And so for that reason, it's fine to put fun money in Bitcoin, but I'm also not going to do it under the guise of my paranoia apocalyptic plan that I'm going to be the one to survive it if I put money in crypto.
Hey, Joseph, I'm going to ask a question on your behalf to George. Is that right? Okay, he's smarter on this stuff than I am.
Yeah.
George, I remember doing an event with Jocko once, and at the end of the event, he said to the audience, we were both on stage there, and he said, we talk a lot about military stuff. We talk a lot about might and our Navy SEALs ability. But he said the thing that the U.S. has is the small business. It's the economics, the economy.
Oh, yeah.
And as I dug into that, because I started asking people, is that true? That sounds good from a stage, but is that right? And what one finance wizard told me, and again, I'm asking you because who knows, but said when a country says, we're going to devalue the dollar, and they have bought U.S. treasuries, they have a vested interest in the U.S. economy, that they actually are going to lower the amount that we owe them. And so the advantage we have is if a country's we're going to try to crash the dollar, then the investments that they have made go away. Right?
It hurts them financially.
It hurts them significantly. And so my understanding is the world's debt essentially traffics in U.S. dollars. And so if a group of countries get together let's crash the dollar, you can do that, and it may be maybe to your advantage over 100 years, but it's going to be ugly, right? Because you're crashing the amount you're actually owed back.
Yeah. And as much debt as we have a lot of friends out there, John. And so they go, hey, that's my friend. You don't mess with them because they're protecting us. And so you get into
a mess.
Geopolitics and economics. And Joseph, I'm not smart enough to answer that question on that end. But I just tell you what I do, what John does, and that's investing in our 401ks and IRAs, paying off our houses, and sleeping well at night, not looking at our investments 24/7.
That was Joseph and George. That was what ultimately, when I was where Joseph was, I was spinning out, man. I wasn't sleeping for weeks. I was asking everybody all the time. Ultimately, I came to, what can I control here? And if it all goes away, if I don't owe anybody anything, then there's not going to be somebody knocking on my door and say that's mine, right? Whether it's a car, whether it's a house, whether it's land, whatever it is. If I don't owe anybody anything, then there's not going to be somebody might try to come take it, but they're not going to be saying, hey, that's actually mine.
Yeah.
And that to me feels like the smartest hedge is I don't owe anybody anything. Let's start there.
Joseph, thank you for a great conversation, man. Hope it helped.
Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life. So, Fox News article. Some of you have seen it and been sending it to me on Twitter. Couple sells all possessions for sailboat, sinks 2 days into trip. A Colorado couple who dreamed of a life sailing around the world had the wind taken out of their sails when their boat capsized nearly 2 days into their trip. A couple's plan for a better life has been sunk. Ba-boom. Okay, Nikki Walsh, 24, and her boyfriend, Tanner Broadwell, 26, decided nearly a year ago that they were tired of working. How can we live our lives when we work most of the day and you have to pay so much of it just to live? Walsh said, who booked timeshare tours for a living. Most of the work you do just goes to your home. There has to be another option, she added. So the Colorado couple sold all their furniture and their SUV and purchased a 49-year-old boat in Alabama to live on and eventually sail the world in. The couple moved on to the 28-foot boat, which was in the marina of Tarpon Springs, a town of Florida's Gulf Coast. Lived there for months with their 2-year-old pug, Remy, while they stocked up on food and supplies. The couple had planned their trip for a year, both quitting their jobs and selling all their worldly possessions in Colorado before moving out to Florida to live on their 28-foot boat. We were pretty prepared, Walsh said, of gathering items to last them for their planned trip to the Caribbean. However, the two were not prepared for what happened next. Nearly 2 days into their venture, the couple's boat capsized in a channel of water called John's Pass. We thought the channel was where we were going, but it wasn't. Walsh told the Post, telling the publication they were armed with a GPS and paper navigation charts. Local boat captains say the sandbars often shift in John's Pass. We started freaking out because waves were coming. Well, you were on the ocean. And it was tossing our boat back and forth. You wanted to sail the world. Broadwell was near the rear of the boat, holding on to Remy when the trouble hit. My hands were shaking. We were terrified. Before abandoning ship, Walsh said they grabbed some clothes and important documents as well as things for their dog. I also grabbed Remy's food, just about everything he needed, said Walsh. He doesn't deserve to go without his favorite toys. Walsh admitted she and her boyfriend, who used to drive for Uber, were new to sailing. Yeah, I think. Once the boat flipped, the couple lost all their material possessions. I shouldn't be laughing. This is a sad story. The pair said they have $90 and no jobs and no boat insurance. What? I thought you were prepared. However, the couple, who has been left with just $90 in cash, no jobs, no boat insurance, say they're still hopeful for their world sailing plans because they've started a GoFundMe begging people to help them not give up on their dreams, in quotes. The pair is seeking $10,000 to rescue the ship. This is not a ship, boys and girls. It's a boat. It's 28 feet long. It's in 4 foot of water. Sunk off the coast of Madeira Beach, Florida. Said raising the boat alone will cost $6,700. We've got a lot of family helping us, but it's hard when you've lost everything. You only have one life. Why not spend it doing what you love? Why spend it doing what you don't love? Money isn't everything, he told the Post. Yeah. Money isn't everything. Why is the GoFundMe there? Apparently money is something you need. What I'm having trouble with is they're 24 and 26, and they were tired of working. They were tired of working. I mean, if you were 44 and 46, or 54 and 56, or 64 and 66, but you're 24, you haven't been working long enough to be tired of working. It's impossible. But money isn't everything. Boat insurance is, but that costs money, but money isn't everything. Yeah. So, this is so hard to not be harsh. I just want to be funny instead of being harsh. But it's so sad. Because I got to tell you, I've done so many stupid things in my life. And the list of stupid things in this story is so long. And every time I do something stupid, you know what it does? It brings me pain and costs me money. And that's what happened to these guys. So my prayer for them is that no one gives them a dime for their GoFundMe account. Because these two really just don't like to work much. They're not very responsible. They, when we get off the boat, the main thing we do is we save the pug's toys. Because the pug doesn't deserve to be with you people. You're irresponsible. Pugs are great. I like pugs. He doesn't deserve to go without his favorite toys. This is what's occurring to her as her boat is sinking without insurance. The pug toys. Somebody will give money to this GoFundMe, I'm sure. Because you only have one life. Why spend it doing what you don't love? Money isn't everything. No, it's not everything, and you shouldn't spend your whole life doing what you don't love, but unless, your goal is to not work, ever. And have other people give you money so you can sail around the Caribbean and call that fulfillment. That's not going to work out for you. I can't imagine having a 24-year-old daughter and coming in and telling me, "Hey, Dad, my boyfriend and I are going to the Caribbean. We have no clue what we're going to do. And we think we're prepared and we just don't want to work much." It would just break my heart. Because here's what's going to happen. These people are going to it's going to take them a decade to recognize that they're going to have to work. Work is not a bad thing. Work gives you dignity. Work is where money comes from, not GoFundMe. And, and if you call yourself prepared, but you have no idea how to sail, and yet you're sailing, and you forgot to buy insurance on your boat, or just chose not to, you're what we call sunk. Right? I mean, really? Oh, gosh. So I hope they, yeah. The problem is your dreams become your nightmares when you don't know how to live life like an adult. That's the problem. And adults devise a plan and follow it. Children do what feels good. These are a couple of children. And I'm not making fun of them. I'm not picking on them. It's just sad. And what's sad is it's actually a news story, and I'm so stupid I actually read it. So, and then took a whole segment of the show on it. But, the point is that sometimes I'm poor. Sometimes I struggle with money because of my stupidity. Sometimes I struggle with money because of my lack of character. Sometimes I struggle with money because other people take advantage of me. Sometimes I struggle with money because of the situation I was born into, and I haven't learned to rise above that particular situation yet. So there's legitimate reasons that people are poor that are not their fault. Not these two. These two, 100% of it is their fault. And that's pretty much stupid tax on steroids right there. And I was older than them when I lost everything because I was stupid, and I lost a lot more than that, and for a lot of different reasons. But yeah, just doesn't work, folks. You're going to be doing work, and then if you're smart, once you get your bills paid, then you'll start doing work that you do love and that you do care about and that does have meaning. But you're going to be doing work. It gives you dignity. It causes your brain to work. And it causes you to be able to live your dreams rather than somebody else's nightmare. What a mess. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. If you haven't heard, there is a problem for the millennials.
Big.
George.
Dave, I've lost
It's a
so much
millennial
sleep.
weight loss program. There's an avocado ban on avocados coming in from Mexico. So
It's a healthy fat, Dave. It's a healthy
I know,
fat.
but I'm just saying, millennial avocado toast is toast until we get our avocados back, and so.
Well,
oh wait, it's been reversed. That was Friday. On Friday they lifted the ban. You're gonna make it, George. You're
Dave,
gonna make it.
This is the best news I've read in a long time.
Because I mean, you had lost like a half a pound. I know
was
you
getting
had,
dangerous.
and you didn't have a half a pound to lose.
No.
So
This is wild. So Mexico supplies about 80% of the avocados eaten in the United States. There was a ban, and it's been lifted.
and it's stemming from purported threats to a U.S. inspector in the Latin American country.
Shook a bill.
So the cartel
avocados.
got after a U.S. inspector hanging out down there, gave him a little one-up, and he shuts down $1 billion worth of avocado toast, buddy. I'm just saying, this guy's got power.
I'm in the wrong industry.
What's your son do? He's an avocado inspector, but he actually runs the entire economy of Mexico. $1 billion
That is
worth
wild.
of avocados. So yeah, of course, during the ban,
You thought getting out of debt was a
the mean
lucrative
tweet. The
business.
mean tweets thing is coming back during the ban. Kimberly, and I won't read your last name because I don't want people to come after you.
That's not
but
the spirit here.
She might be 12. You never know. She might be 82, and in neither case would we want people to, like bother Kimberly.
That's right.
She says, I bet you Dave Ramsey is super stoked about the avocado import ban. He's like, these millennials can't waste their millions on avocado toast anymore. There you
Wow.
go. See, I knew it was coming. I don't know how I got hooked up with that because I don't remember me saying that one.
I don't think you
That was
particularly
another
did.
financial guy out there in the space, and I think it might have been David Bach. I don't remember. But we've all always used examples that say, okay, if you cut your spending by just a little bit and invest that, you will end up with money. We've said that long before millennials were born. We said that. And one example was always, if you cut out a cup of coffee, if you quit buying coffee, and then it became Starbucks, $5, right? Now it's with inflation, it's $8, but and then with a latte, it's $26.
It's insane.
And with universal life wage of $42 an hour, it's now $42. And if you Uber it and have it brought in by Uber Eats with the upcharges, it's $62.
This is getting out of hand.
Yeah, I'm just saying. But anyway, a cup of coffee, if you just said, I'm not going to spend that, instead I'm going to let that money accumulate into an investment, turns into money. It's a math example. It's not an actual suggestion that says you become wealthy by not drinking coffee or not eating
That's how
avocado
millennials
toast.
took it.
But somebody said the millennials were, back when we first started, everybody started griping about millennials. The millennial hate thing started, right? Like they're useless. They get participation trophies. They live in their mother's basement. All that stuff that was said about millennials, which is not true, by the way.
No.
But it was, and somebody in the financial world. It really wasn't me, I don't think. If you can find the tweet out there, send it to me. If I did it, I'll own it because I've said some stupid butt stuff. But do you think I said it, James?
No, I think it just was a meme going around that.
No, somebody picked it up off a meme. It was actually a guy said it. I'm positive.
Okay.
And then it turned into a meme, and then it turned into I
right,
said
it got conflated with you.
Yeah, I said
That's
it.
how
Because I
culture
tell
works.
people to live on less than they make. I tell them not to do foolish spending. And this guy's point was the millennials would be okay if they quit spending their money on avocado toast and put their money in a Roth IRA. And that's, absolutely not true. That doesn't work mathematically. But it's an example. It's a metaphor for control your spending. But then the millennials get all jacked up and entitled and are like, well, my avocado toast,
Well, now they buy it to spite you. That's
I know.
what they do.
Well, I actually like it.
People are hate buying
I
avocado
never
toast.
had avocado toast until this whole thing got pinned on me.
It's delicious.
And I actually order it now. But I can afford it, so it's okay.
New headline: Dave Ramsey orders
Yeah.
avocado toast.
That's shocking.
That's it.
Can you cover it with gravy? That's what I want to know. But yeah, okay. So red eye gravy, baby. All right. So I bet you Dave Ramsey's super stoked about the avocado import ban. He's like, ha ha, these millennials can't waste their millions on avocado toast anymore.
Wow.
So that's the whole story. Me getting pinned with this thing.
I love the assumption that these millennials have millions. That they're just, I guess, collectively. Collectively, they're spending millions, maybe.
Yeah.
But we do love our avocados. Don't take those away
Well,
from us.
so here's the thing. The mean tweets, we used to have to kind of, when Twitter was young, it was actually a conversation. Now it's just a bunch of trolls.
It's just bots and
it's
trolls.
deteriorated. It's just it's a pile of trolls. It's a troll pile. And so, but so finding mean tweets in the old days, it was 1 out of 500 tweets or something. But you could do a
That's
search
the majority.
do a search on Dave Ramsey, and you could find mean tweets. All you got to do is open up now. It's not hard at all. Boomer.
It's a fun
you get
pastime.
anything, or every possible name that you can call people. So, James, if we're going to do mean tweets, they cannot. We can't violate the FCC rules on words said on the air. So we can't use a lot of them. We'll just have to bleep them.
We can bleep them, and they have to be creative and funny and fun, not just like, oh, man.
Not just hateful.
Not just angry.
Basically, he wants you to be creatively mean. If you're going to be mean, do it in a creative
If you
way.
want to make the show with your mean tweet, you need to be mean without unbelievable cuss words, because we can't use them.
Yep, that's true.
We're actually on public radio. We'll get fined.
The funniest ones were from the kids in class that were taking your curriculum.
They were forced to go through the curriculum.
Yeah, they're in, because 48% of the classes are teaching our curriculum in high schools now. 48% of the high schools are teaching it. So, they're making fun of Dave Ramsey. I go watch these videos. Wish the coach would actually do his job and teach.
And now
he's
I
a
get
coach. He's not a teacher. Yeah.
And now you've passed it on to me. I hosted our latest curriculum, so now I get the hate mail.
You get hate mail
of
from
kids
millennials?
saying this guy's a tool.
Really?
Yeah,
You're
know what
a tool?
happens. I guess. I don't know. I don't even know what a tool is.
Huh.
But, hey.
It's an avocado tool.
Avocado tool. I'll take that. But the kids these days,
avocado toast eating
they
tool.
think they're just posting into the abyss. They don't know that we can see it, especially when they direct message you, right? That's a whole different ballgame.
Well, here's the thing. The problem, it's just the problem with this. I think we're going to see a change in this. I think it's in the air because it's gotten so far out of control. And the problem with this is that, and we kept trying to tell people this in the early days with social media when it first started, especially Twitter, and it's going to come back to bite you because this stuff is forever. Even if you delete the tweet, somebody could have screenshotted it.
Oh, yeah.
Even if you delete the Instagram comment, somebody could have screenshotted it. And so I'm up to I think I've blocked 10,000 people.
That's impressive.
It was a hobby for a while.
Yeah, you got to
I would
automate
kind
that.
of drink my morning coffee. I block 10 a morning,
That's good.
And it's like
Pace yourself.
Well, if you're going to cuss me and all this other stuff, but
well, now it's a medal of honor. I don't know if you know that, but people are excited to get blocked by you, and they hold it up as a badge.
Really?
It's a thing. They brag about it to their friends.
Oh man,
It's a real thing.
Who knew I could create a different kind of?
It's the only competition they can win, so they like to hold that up. Sorry, was that too? I'm sorry. I take it back.
That was good.
Take it back.
Zing!
It's a sport.
This is a trophy you actually earned.
Yep. The Blocked by Dave trophy. You can't mount it on the wall, but it's great dinner time conversation. Wow.
Well, I mean, moms and dads that raise kids that say things on the internet that they would never have the backbone to say in person, because you get your face punched in if you said this to someone's face.
Yep.
And so, and I watch them, they're talking about some quarterback or some vaccinated thing on some quarterback or whatever. They're wearing out Aaron Rodgers. They're wearing out whoever. And, as if you stood in that guy's presence, he's the size of not Aaron Rodgers, but I mean,
sure,
he'd have one of his linemen pound you into the ground like avocado toast. I mean,
there it is.
Yeah.
We got it full circle.
So,
we came back around.
All right, mean tweets coming up. Not this segment, but soon. James is going to try to collect ones that are actually funny.
James might write some. Be careful.
James,
be careful.
He could get the booth people.
Don't get on his bad
folk.
side.
The booth folk
might
could
come
write
after
mean
us.
tweets to get back at me for calling them booth folk.
They've got a lot of dirt.
Is coming.
The comeuppance.
You have no idea what's coming on the internet now. This is The Ramsey Show.
Cody joins us up next in Atlanta, Georgia. Cody, welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Thank you. How are you guys doing?
Doing great. How can we help?
Hey, I'm trying to find out whether or not I need to pretty much sell my car.
Okay.
I played the credit card game pretty stupidly, racked up, good chunk, have paid it all off, have about $8,000 in cash left, have another in total between me and my wife, $7,000 in student loans, and combined we make about 80. And we just had a kid about 4 months ago.
Congrats.
And we owe, thank you. We owe about $25,000 on a brand new 2022.
Wow.
What car is it?
Chevy Equinox.
Okay. And what's your total debt? All I heard was the student loans in there.
Nothing. We don't own a house. The car is our only debt. That's
the car is the only debt.
Left.
Okay, you had mentioned student loans, but I guess you said you paid that off?
No, we have $7,000 in student loans. We paid off all the credit cards.
Okay, let's just quick definition of debt. Owing anything to anyone for any reason. Is there any other debt you want to tell us about?
I think
Cody?
he said it. I think he said $7,000 in student loans.
Yeah, but then I said, is that it? And he said it's just the car.
I'm
That's the only debt.
I'm sticking up for you, Cody.
Okay, Cody. I'm just trying to get my ducks in a row here. So we got $7,000 in student loans, $25,000 on the car, and you're wondering if you should sell the car to get out of all of this debt.
Feel like I'm asking a stupid question.
No, there's no stupid questions.
No, you're not.
I want to
at
get
all.
my details straight so we can help you.
Yeah. So
what's the car worth?
Pretty much the loan, trade-in value. What I owe on the loan is what it's worth now.
Okay, so it's equal. It's worth 25. You owe 25.
Correct. It would be a wash for me. I'm just wondering, especially in today's market, especially since we have, besides the student loans, we have no other debt. But we also want to save up for a house. So it's kind of like, okay, what do we do? And especially we've even thought about selling a car and not having a car. We both work from home. We're like, if there's an emergency, call 911.
No, Cody.
Whoa, so this is your only car?
Yes.
Oh,
correct.
yeah. No, we need a car.
I would, yeah. I'm gonna put a car up there with like at least one.
Now you have $8,000 in the bank. You said right?
So
correct.
So for me, Cody, the rule of thumb always is if you can't pay off your car in 18 to 24 months, you need to sell it. Do you think you guys can pay off $25,000 in debt in a year, 2 year and a half?
We probably could, but we want to do it sooner.
Okay, so that's my question. So you could keep the car.
Yes.
And you guys could pay it off, total 2 years would be the most, but maybe if you could do it in a year, year and a half. But if you don't want to go through the pain of all of that, you have an asset right there that you can trade in, take some of the savings. You guys would get a beater. It would not be a great car, but you're talking about selling the car anyway, so I don't think you're too concerned with it. And then throw some money at the student loan, get that paid off, then save back up to pay for a car. So all of that would be the route you would go versus just decreasing your lifestyle dramatically to pay it off. But you're going to be decreasing your lifestyle anyways, Cody, to get some money to get that beater and to pay off your student loans, and then to save up for another car if you want to replace the beater. So
So to recap, Cody, what would we do today if you decide I'm going to sell this car? Sell the car for 25, the loan's gone. Now take maybe 7,000 of the 8,000 you have in the bank, go get yourself a reliable used car, and then you're at baby step 2, paying off those 7,000 in student loans, and you can do that much more quickly, right? We're talking a few months?
Correct, yeah.
So it speeds up the process by a year and a half.
Maybe.
Yep.
Which I think excites you more at this point, which is great.
Yeah, well, especially because we don't have a ton in retirement or 401k, which
Yep.
We're in almost our 30s, kind of scares us a little.
Well, you got time, man. You guys are still young. You got this. So I think you know what to do. Anytime someone's willing to sell the car,
I know.
I'm like, all right, that's a hard emotional place to get to. And if it speeds up the journey, because the journey's tough, 2 years of really sacrificing versus
for a car. Yeah,
a car is a reversible decision in some points because you can just get rid of it. I can't sell my student loans. I can't sell the piece of paper and get money back. So that is the nice thing about that. But we're wishing you the best, Cody.
Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
All right, so I'm 36, or about to be, and I want to propose to my girlfriend, but we disagree on finances. We agree on everything else. But the problem is I want to combine finances. She has a rental property, and I have a house. I just sold a piece of land that I'm going to walk away with $180,000. And I want to pay off my house. I have made a budget to pay off in about 4 years, and I want to rent it out and then buy a bigger house with her. And, I talked to her about, paying off my house quickly and then throwing a bunch of money at her rental and pay that off faster so that we have, more cash flow coming in from the two houses. Well, she wants, she said if we do get married, she wants to sign a prenup, which, I don't agree with. And I see no reason for it because you know,
Your
she has a house, I have a
asset
house,
base is fairly similar.
right?
Okay.
And
So
you know, I feel
you're
hesitant.
not ready to propose.
Is her
Yeah, I just
family
feel
wealthy?
hesitant. No, no. My
Okay.
family's got her
So-
beat on that half.
Hey, Mike, how long y'all been dating?
About 8 months.
Okay. All right. You've got some more work to do on this relationship before it becomes a marriage. And here's why.
Right.
You called and asked our opinion, so I'll give you my opinion. I'm going to treat you like you're my kid because my kids are your age, okay? The number one cause of divorce in North America is disagreement over money. Money fights, money problems, okay? And you are sitting square in the middle of it. And here's the problem. Jesus said your treasure's where your heart is. People spend their money on what they value. And Dr. John Deloney says behavior is a language. And so when she says, I don't like your plan, I don't like it so much that I want my stuff to be separated in a prenup, what she's saying is, I don't agree with how you're spending your money, and our value systems are not aligned.
Hey, George here with a quick interruption. If something were to happen to you tomorrow, would your family know where to find your life insurance policy, your will, even your Netflix password? Well, Knockbox solves that. It's a kit that organizes your financial accounts, estate plans, and everything your family would need all in one place. That way they don't have to hack into your laptop or locate some long-lost thumb drive. So leave them a legacy, not a scavenger hunt with Knockbox. Ramsey fans get the best discount available at knockbox.com/Ramsey. That's knockbox.com/Ramsey.
What she's saying is, I don't agree with how you're spending your money, and our value systems are not aligned. You value different things. And if you want to go super extreme, she likes her rental property more than she likes you.
Right.
That's super
I think
extreme. That's super extreme.
I think she's kind of short. Yeah, I think she's sort of short-sighted in her views because
Yep.
you know all she has is her savings, which is 160 grand. She says
This
and
is
then her
not
house,
this is
which
not a
worth
dollar
100.
amount thing. This is a
Right.
power struggle. And we're not aligned on our values because you spend your money on what you value, and you value different things than she values. This makes for a very long and uncomfortable life if you stay married, and you probably won't statistically. So you guys have got to continue to have this discussion until we can come to some kind of mediated agreement on what we're going to do with our lives, and that we like each other, we love each other more than this stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because the response to conflict can't be, well, then I'm just going to take my stuff over here.
I'm going to take my toys and go home.
The response is, let's
Right.
enter into it and figure out where we both stand and how we can do this together. So that's, to me, that's a red flag.
It's a no-go forward flag. It's not just a red flag. It's
And I think a lot of
don't go forward until you solve this. I'm not saying you have to break up with her, but please do not get engaged and get married, because statistically you have almost no chance.
Right. I think a lot of it comes from her mother. You know, her mom's always raised her, once you have kids, your life is over, even though she wants to have kids. And then her mom's, you know, she kind of has the outlook of you need to have, like her mom, you need to have money to run away if something goes bad.
Yeah,
Oh.
You know,
yeah. See, that's it. There we go.
It's
So
that-
we're already
that
planning.
hardcore-
We're already planning our exit, and we hadn't even gotten to the altar.
Yeah, and she said she goes to therapy to work on all that because she doesn't agree with her mom and she doesn't like that outlook. But I think, you know, they always say the apple never falls far.
Well,
falls
it
far from the
hasn't
tree.
yet. It hasn't yet.
It can roll away over time.
It can, but it hasn't yet. But so because she's functioning in exactly the same fears. This, as soon as you bumped into, we're going to be closely and completely knit together with with the restructuring of this situation after we get married. The thing you proposed was very interwoven. It violated this keep things separate so I can bolt thing, and she retreated to a prenup. And all of that it's not an issue of the prenup. It's not an issue of the real estate. It's an issue of how the relationship's going, and it says you're not aligned. There are 4 things that if you're aligned on them statistically, you will have a 90% probability of your marriage lasting. Money In-laws. Oh, wait, mother's involved. Okay. Children. Oh, wait, we're already talking about that and possibly disagreed. Okay. And, oh, wait, religion. That's the only one of the four we hadn't got to. And you've got to get some alignment on those things. So you guys have some work to do on the relationship. I would suggest some good pre-marriage counseling and see if you can begin to not only discuss where these fears and values come from, but which of them we're going to keep and which ones we're going to take forward into the marriage. It could be that you're a little uptight and spreadsheet dude, nerd dude, and you need to loosen up on that. That might be. I didn't hear that, but it could be. If you were going to fall on one side or the other, that's the side you would fall on based on talking to you.
Yeah, it sounded like that.
But it didn't sound toxic. But I think you scared her.
Well, I think it sounded to me like what she was dealing with was fear-based, and it wouldn't have mattered who the guy was.
Oh, that's right.
That idea of
the
getting...
proposal of the interwoven freaked her out.
Yeah.
And so it's not a discussion of the validity of prenups. It's a discussion of the proper way to do marriage relationships for statistical probability of success.
Right. That's right.
Hello.
Right.
I mean, that sounds like no romantic at all, but there you go. So, because, I got, 43 years I'm in, you want the statistical probability of success. It's really, really good.
Yeah.
You want to be where I am. It's sweet. I got 8 grandbabies. I got 3 wonderful people have married my children that I love dearly.
Yeah.
I actually like them all. That's so weird. You know how weird that is?
Weird.
That means I raised children to pick well. Okay, and so the whole family actually got together Sunday night. We had a blast.
Oh yeah, I saw some of the videos.
Yeah, dunking them. Yeah, the whole bit. So that's not an accidental thing.
Well, let me ask you this, because I don't want to put a broad blanket over it, but I kind of feel this way. Don't you feel like when you're dating, like when you're in that phase between dating, about to get engaged, don't you think it should be easy?
It's been so long, I forgot.
Like, I just feel like, I'm like, man, to have these level of disagreements and fights, like that
he's
always
36.
just feels like, that's true. They're a little bit older.
I was 22.
Yeah, I was 22.
We got married when I was 22.
That's
so
true.
I don't have anything to put that on. He's been single a long time.
Yeah,
and
standards are higher.
You got 2 older singles.
Yeah.
They're more entrenched.
That's true. That is very true.
When you're 22, it's like, yeah, whatever. It's like, right. But, or at least it was for me.
And for me too, now that I think back, I'm like, okay, that's why I said I don't want to make it a broad statement, but
it's very important to be aligned on those 4 things. And if you combine that with a 6-month or so engagement period minimum, maximum of a year and a half, and you combine that with pre-marriage counseling, those 6 things combined will put you in the 90 percentile that you'll still be married 25 years later.
Yeah, I believe it.
And so
living it.
Pre-marriage counseling aligned on those 4 things and a reasonable length of engagement, not too long, not too short. And the data, that's all from research, folks. That's studying the actual divorce stats. 50% of the marriages end in divorce. Yeah, that includes all these people that should not have gotten married in the first place because they didn't do any of those things I just talked about.
Right.
And if they did them, they would have run away.
That's right.
Yeah. Run away. Like Jeff Foxworthy said, when I was a kid, we had a cat and it tore up Mama's curtains. And the next day, that cat ran away.
Oh yeah.
So you run away.
You go to the farm.
You go to the train station.
Yeah,
you run away. You
that's
run.
funny.
So I don't think that's where the stage that he's at. I don't think Mike's at that stage.
No, he's got a lot
But
of
he
thinking
is at
to
the,
do.
as the teenagers used to say, the define the relationship stage.
Yeah, they got a lot of thinking and decisions to
The
make. Hard ones.
DTR right now. And you're going to have to sit down probably with a good pre-marriage counselor and help you work through that. She's probably a keeper, but not yet. Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life. Years ago, I was sitting in Financial Peace University classes, and people said, what do I do first? And what do I do after that? And what do I do after that? Where do I start? In my situation, what do I do? And out of those conversations, we started realizing we all need a good financial planning, clear path. A clear path to go from wherever I am to wealthy. That's financial planning. Now, if you don't want to do that, that's okay. You probably shouldn't listen to this show. It's what we're doing all the time here. We're trying to take you from wherever you are to wealthy. Wealthy and stable, for that matter. Not only getting out of debt, but there's a reason to get out of debt. You get out of debt so that you can retire with dignity. You get out of debt so that you can change your family tree. You get out of debt so that you can build wealth and be outrageously generous. So the baby steps was developed out of that. I didn't just sit around one day on my couch and go, we need 7 baby steps in the financial space, and I think I'll invent them. No, it's actually, I had worked with thousands and thousands and thousands of people, and I couldn't answer their question without digging into each and every situation and going, this is what you do, this is what you do, this is what you do. But we know you need to be out of debt and have an emergency fund. That's foundational. Any of us in the financial planning arena know that. It's foundational. And we know you need to be investing to be able to build wealth. That's foundational. And we know your mortgage is big, so paying that off, it's foundational. So just the question was how to put those in an order that was practical and applicable that actually worked. And that's where the baby steps were born. And you know the reason that they've been so successful, why the book, The Total Money Makeover, which is basically the baby steps on steroids, why it's been so successful is because it's a clear path and it's based on basic financial planning logic. And it works. And so even my friends in the financial planning community that don't like me grudgingly admit that the baby steps is freaking genius. And because it is. It is. Not because I'm genius, but because it's a clear path, and we all need a clear path to do whatever it is we're going to succeed at. What are the things I need to do to get to winning if I'm not winning? What's the steps? What's the clear path? We all need that. So to get you started on the right foot, we have the Baby Steps bundle in the store right now, which includes the Total Money Makeover. It includes the Retire Inspired audiobook, the Love Your Life Not Theirs audiobook, the Starter Envelope System, the Every Dollar Guide to Budgeting, and you get a free pass to the Smart Money live stream experience that Chris Hogan and I will be doing in Louisville, Kentucky on April the 25th. You can watch that event live stream as a part of this. This is a limited time offer. You can get all that for $29.99. That is a deal. DaveRamsey.com or call us at 888-22-PEACE, 888-227-3223. But the moral of this story is not the bundle. The moral of the story is develop a clear path to something. Find someone that has a clear path to it. You're wanting to lose weight? What's the clear path to losing weight? You want to improve your marriage? What's the clear path to improving your marriage? What do you do? Do this, and then find a proven process, a proven plan, and then don't try to fix it. Because if you already had it figured out, you'd already be there. So don't fix somebody else's clear path, somebody else's process that's already working. Have you ever had anything more aggravating than, a friend of yours asks you to lunch and says, hey, I'm having trouble in my marriage, what do you think? And then you tell them and they don't do any of it. And yet you've got a great marriage and theirs is on the rocks. And you go, dude, the way you talk to her, no wonder. You treat her like dirt, man. What's your deal? And then you don't change. Nothing worse than giving somebody advice and they don't change. It doesn't do any good. It's wasting my time. I've had friends and relatives over the years that say, I want your opinion about this. And then they go do none of it. So the next time they want to take up my time for my opinion about something, I'm not as available. You know what I'm saying? So when you find something that works, submit yourself to it. Submit yourself to it. I have a friend of mine that is on a weight loss exercise program that is dialed in. And she has lost 65 pounds and is in great shape. But you know what she did? She did not try to fix any of their system. She did not try to modify and do her version of any of their system. She found their system. It absolutely works, and she's doing every iota of it. She completely bought in. Join the cult. Shave your head and drink the Kool-Aid, right? Submit yourself to a winning process. That's what she did with that weight loss and exercise system, and it's worked to the point everybody's going, what did you do? I mean, chick lost 65 pounds. That's noticeable. Hello. Everybody's going, what up? What'd you do? And then she tells them, but then they don't go do it. Uh-huh. There you go. See right there. It's exactly what I'm talking about. Dr. Les Parrott, that is going to be speaking at the SMART conference, has a wonderful system on his website that you can take a marriage analysis called Deep Love, and you can take an analysis, a survey, and fill it in, and then it will tell you the areas of your marriage that are strongest and the areas of your marriage that you need to work on. And it will give you exact steps to go work on those. Now, Les is one of the best-known voices in all of the marriage space. And as far as putting a survey together and developing a system and a thing that spits out suggestions, he wrote a lot of the programming for eHarmony, so shut up. This guy, he's the best in the world at this. So you can take that Deep Love assessment and then read it all and go, yeah, well, I don't agree with you. Shut up. I don't care what your opinion is. You're losing. When you're losing at a space, don't give us your opinion about the space. It makes you look stupid. Don't do that. You're losing. If you're losing in a space, don't have an opinion. It makes you look stupid. Don't do that. You do what someone who's not losing says to do. Why is this hard? Because we all have egos. I'm amazed at the number of broke people who have strong opinions about my investing advice. Is that not the dumbest butt thing you've ever heard? You live in your mother's basement and you write a blog about how Dave Ramsey's investment advice is wrong. Get a job, son. Get out of your mother's basement. Nobody cares what your opinion is when you live in your mother's basement about finances. Evan is with us in Bowling Green. Hi, Evan. How are you?
I'm better than I deserve, Dave. How are you?
Just the same. How can I help?
Hey, I just called in. My wife and I actually are, I just needed some perspective. And we've gone through the financial peace class, and it just seems that we waver from it. We both have, I make $28,000. She makes about $19,000 a year. Mm-hmm. And we both have I say we both because we're married. We have a $70,000 debt. Mm-hmm. And that's including her bachelor's degree from Daymar College. Mm-hmm. And then $11,500 in car debt. Dr. Bill, $6,000, give or take. Mm-hmm. And then a mower, $1,700. And the Daymar is the biggest one. I think it's around $55,000. So together we make $47,000. And I just kind of wanted to hear your logic on it.
My logic on what?
On what we should do and how do we get out of it. I feel like that we just keep looking at this mountain and it just never gets any smaller.
It's because you don't climb it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you just sit there and look at it, it ain't going to get smaller, is it?
No, sir.
You got to put one foot up there and start, grab a hold and let's go. And the only reason you would start climbing a mountain, though, the only reason you would start working a plan is if you thought it was going to work. There's something about when you went through Financial Peace University, the switch didn't flip in your head. Somehow you thought, this doesn't work. Mm-hmm. Or you'd have gone and done it.
I think the only thing that, I agree with you. And that's the hard part about it is the application on an everyday basis. and it's okay. So we have to keep on track on where we're going, and then the doctor bill came from where she was outside mowing the yard without shoes, and we had to go to the ER. She fell in a drainage ditch and cut her foot up pretty bad and had to have stitches, and it's those things, and especially with our income, we can't. With paying, we're trying to do the snowball thing, pay the smallest things first, and then add up. But it just seems with that, and with certain occurrences throughout life, especially the drainage ditch, was just something that was just unexpected, and it's taken us back, and it is putting us back into a spot where we can't pay extra, or we're just paying the minimums now. And finance a car, we've bought another car.
So if you bought a $1,700 lawnmower, how did she fall in a ditch pushing a lawnmower?
Right. Well, the lawnmower situation was another thing. We could either let the grass grow, or we could have bought we could have bought a cheaper lawnmower.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry about that. That's a dumb moment.
But I mean, if you have a $1,700 lawnmower, how does she fall in the ditch?
Well,
I'm just curious.
She was a push mowing out front, and the push mower was
there was a part of it that you couldn't ride.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
yes,
I got it. Okay, I'm just curious. I'm just thinking.
Oh, yeah. Well,
okay.
Throw your wrench, I guess.
All right. So, here's the thing. If you have a big enough why, if you say, let's just say something bizarre, okay, something weird. Okay, that's not going to happen. But just to show you an example, okay, as a metaphor. Okay. If I said that you were going to die in 14 months if you did not pay off $25,000 in debt in the next 14 months, you'd go nuts.
Yes, sir.
You'd work like a crazy man, and you'd sell stuff, and you wouldn't have problems staying on a budget. You would get there, because if you don't, you're going to die. That's extreme, and that's obviously weird. But my point is, you would have a really big reason that would cause everything to revolve around that reason. And you don't have a big enough why. You're just living life. And, what I would say is this. I want you to get scared of being normal. And you're not scared of being normal yet. Enough to cut this crap out. I mean, cut your life down to nothing. Take 6 jobs, sell so much stuff that the kids think they're next. I mean, the lawnmower's gone. You're pushing the whole thing. Probably the car's gone. I don't know. Everything's gone. We're not going on vacation. Christmas is going to be a craft. It's time to shock the system here. Detox. You got to detox. And just clean out everything that's going on here and stop putting anything into the system that's not pure. I mean, I don't want to hear about fun. I don't want to hear about anything except sacrifice, because you're going to die if you don't do this. Now, again, I'm being melodramatic and crazy, but the point is that if that happened, you don't care what other people think. You don't care about Friday. You don't care about discomfort temporarily. You will live like no one else, so that later you can live and give like no one else. That's the why statement. Will I pay the price to win so I never have to pay a price again? Or am I going to pay the price of mediocrity? And that's what it is. You all got to talk about it, and you got to go, we've been doing this stuff, ish. And ish, Dave, ish, Financial Peace University, ish, gets you ish results. And that's what you've been doing. Results, ish. And I'm not fussing at you. You're just asking me how to do it. And, when I was a kid, no one jogged. No one was running in the neighborhood I grew up in unless somebody was chasing them. Okay? Nobody went for a run. There weren't running shoes. I remember when Converse came out with the basketball shoes that were actually cool and would stop quickly on the gym floor. It was the first ones I'd ever seen. Now everybody wears those throwback Converse, and that's what they look like. Those you millennials wear, you hipsters wear the ones that I used to have when I was a kid. But running shoes, running shorts, sweats that matched. We had the gray sweatpants, that looked like a balloon that you saw in the first version of Rocky, okay? That was it. And one day, a guy went running up our street. A grown man was running on our street in those gray sweatpants and funky-looking little tennis shoes. And the kids, we were all just amazed. We're like, a grown man just ran up the street. We went and told our parents. The next day, everybody gathered on the front porch to watch this grown man run up the street. And it became the great mystery of the neighborhood that this grown man was out running. And finally, someone got up the courage to run along beside him and ask him why. And he said, well, I had a little heart attack, and the doctor said if I didn't lose 60 pounds, I was going to die. And so you know what he did? He went for a run. He had a big enough why, and he didn't care that he was the weirdo of the neighborhood, because he was. I mean, this is a bunch of rednecks standing around on our front porch watching this weird guy run up the street. We had never seen anybody do anything like this, but he didn't care what we thought. He wanted to live. He had a big enough why. He didn't care what other people thought. He didn't care about his temporary discomfort. He wanted to live, so he paid a price of ridicule by others looking on. He paid a price of discomfort to have a greater life. And that's your why. You got to have a why like that. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
I recently started working. I'm a registered nurse. I've been a nurse now for 2 years. And I really didn't have any credit card debt. And then as soon as I started working, I started spending, and now we're about $55,000 in credit card debt, and I don't know how to get out of it. Both my husband and I make a decent amount of money, and we just need to figure out the right way to go about it.
Do you still have the credit card?
Yes, I still have them. I lock them all, and I'm trying to pay them all off, every month, but it just doesn't seem to be going very far.
What's your household income?
I make about $100, and my husband makes about $230, $250. It ranges with his overtime.
Okay, so you're making $350 household. What caused you to go, we don't have enough money? Out of $350,000, I need to go $55,000 in credit card debt. What caused that?
Well, I guess every month we're down to like 50 cents of left in our account, and we're trying, we don't.
Where is $30,000 going every month, even in New York City? I mean, even Congress would have a hard time spending all of this money.
Yeah, I don't. We own our home. I guess mortgage, and then just paying off the credit card debt. We don't really spend any money otherwise.
You just told me you dropped $55K on a credit card. So if I looked at your bank statement over the last 2 years, where would you say are the top 2 or 3 things where you're blowing money?
Food.
Are you eating out every night? DoorDash? What is it? Get specific.
No, it's our grocery bills, and then I guess we do order out like once a week, which we stop.
Well, let's start with the big things, because what's funny to me is that you literally have no idea what you spend the $30,000 on. You couldn't even pull it. It was like,
I don't think we're not making $30,000 a month. It usually comes to
closer to 20.
Closer to 20. Or
okay.
Sometimes it depends on overtime. So
okay.
Sometimes it's less. Sometimes it's 10. Sometimes it's 20. It all depends on how much overtime.
But what are your actual hard expenses?
Hard expenses. Start with your mortgage. What's that?
Our mortgage is $3,012.
Okay, that's not the problem.
We pay like all our household bills and everything like that are about $7,000, and then our credit cards are, our credit card payments each month minimum are about $2,000.
Okay. We still have $9,000 to go.
And then my husband has to take a lot of money to get to work. Usually it's about $1,000 or so to get to work.
What does that mean, to get to work? Is he flying on a private jet?
Hey, George here in the control booth, and I bet you're wondering what they're going to say next. Get out of debt, sell the horse, yada, yada, yada. The advice may be predictable, but the internet is anything but. You see, your personal info is out there, up for grabs by shady companies ready to add more scam and spam to your life. And that's why I use Delete Me. Delete Me will scrub your data from all of these sites so that you can focus on The Ramsey Show instead of who's buying and selling your info. And Ramsey fans get 20% off at joindeleteme.com/Ramsey or by using the link in the description below. So go take control of your privacy as soon as this call is over.
What does that mean to get to where? Is he flying on a private jet?
No. So the he's a fireman. The firehouse has like house taxes, and they have to pay for meals every day. And that's usually, every shift he goes in, they have to bring in a meal. Everyone has to contribute to the house, basically. So it's usually about $1,000 a month plus gas. And then we have, gas bills, everything like that.
Okay. I'm confused where the other $7,000, you said there's household expenses of $7,000 outside of the mortgage.
I mean, I guess it depends on the overtime, but I mean, I have everything written down, everything that we spend.
Do you have any other debt outside of the 55 and credit cards?
Yeah, yes. I have a school loan and I have a car loan.
Okay, how much is the car loan and how much is the school loan?
School loan is $30,000 and the car loan is about $27,000.
Okay, so you've got well over $100,000 in consumer debt. You have a great income, and I think the solution here is to get on a very strict written budget with your husband starting tonight.
Okay.
Now, is he willing, or is he like, whatever, we're doing fine?
No, he's willing. He's willing. But both of us, we don't shop. Like, we just do basics. We're just living basically.
I don't know anyone who lives basically, making $350, who still goes $60,000 into credit card debt. I don't believe that.
It was the first year that I started working. It was just my mistake, and I was spending on them when I shouldn't have because I didn't have any. Sorry.
Okay. Well, your new life starts today. I'm going to gift you Every Dollar Premium. It's our budgeting app, and here's what you're going to do. There's an onboarding process. It's quick, and then you're going to list out your income for the month, whatever you think it will be, based on, you said it's irregular. There's going to be some commissions and some balances there, but then you're going to list all of your expenses beneath that. And that's going to show you how much margin you should have or that you don't have. It'll show you, hey, you have $3,000 left to budget. Every single extra dollar is going to be going toward your smallest debt. Make minimum payments on the rest. You can keep up with the minimum payments, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
I do pay the minimum payments every month, and I so far have paid off 3 of the cards since I started listening to you guys.
Good for you.
That debt snowball method is your ticket out of this thing. And making $350, you can knock out, $120,000 in debt really quickly.
Yeah.
Because I think there's a lot of room in this budget, and your income, this shovel, is going to save you guys if you can get a handle on it. But the good news is, Nicole, this is not the first we've heard of this. We get calls all the time, people making insane money, and they're going, we're paycheck to paycheck. We got bills up to our eyeballs, and it's because of lifestyle creep. The more you make, the more you're going to spend, the more you can stomach that next payment. So what you and your husband have to get really good at is saying no. No to more debt, no to eating out, no to the luxuries that you're used to. You're going to feel like you're living in college again.
Mm-hmm.
And, maybe Hub starts taking casseroles to the firehouse,
They're not really allowed. That's a fight that we have pretty often.
I thought it was a funny little idea, and it
I
got
didn't know
shot
it was-
down. Casseroles not allowed.
It's unconstitutional.
That feels un-American to me, but I digress.
They have to make the meals together. They eat together,
I'm confused. What kind of job costs you $1,000 a month to work there?
Well, it's they have the house tax. They have to pay house tax every month.
What does that
to cover
mean?
shampoo.
It's not a fraternity that he signed up for. It's a job.
House tax.
Yeah, well, they pay, pay for the food in the house, grocery bills. They
And you're
pay
telling me-
for, like, shampoo. They live there, basically. A lot of times they live there for, a day or so.
Well, here's the deal. We digress on that. Here's what I want you to understand. You getting in your budget, and by the way, we're so glad you called. We're glad you're jumping on board. You've made some great progress, but I'm going to tell you something. It will set you and your husband free when you truly get every budget item in that every dollar budget and begin to look at it, because when you can see it, and we weren't trying to grill you or put you on the spot.
We're having some fun.
We're having a little bit of fun, but it's obvious that there's a lot of spending that you still don't have your hands on. And so by knowing where every dollar is going, what a game changer. You would be surprised. I promise you right now, and George, I'm going to put you on the spot here, but if you and I went to their house tonight and we brought a casserole with us, because I think maybe we would, And we had dinner with you, and then afterwards we got it all out on the table, and we got the legal pads or the whiteboard or whatever. I bet you we could find a lot of money in your budget. George, you agree?
I could find probably $12,000 in the past month that could have gone towards debt payoff. That's my best guess.
Now, that's not to scold you, Nicole.
That's to encourage
and once again, his pay is variable, as is mine because of overtime.
Yeah, but on a bad month, you're still making 10 or 12
paycheck
grand.
Yeah, so sometimes a paycheck for him might be $3,000, sometimes it's $7,000, sometimes mine's $1,700, sometimes mine's $3,500.
And that's even more reason for you guys to get really serious and
That's
go,
right.
we have to live like we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow.
That's
and that means not borrowing money, having money in the bank. Do you guys have anything in savings right now?
Yeah, we have retirement funds and everything like
liquid
that.
cash. Do you have like
From
a
the city.
savings account?
No.
Okay. I
We
think
just
you
go,
guys are
going
going
to pay our mortgage and
you
everything.
guys are about to experience something called financial peace, where you're not stressed about money. I'm going to gift you that on top of every dollar premium. There's 9 lessons in there. Watch every single lesson with your husband. Have a hard conversation. Do that budget. Have a weekly budget meeting. Make a new budget before every month begins, and you're going to feel so much more in control.
Yes.
Because you guys work too hard. You're too successful to be living this paycheck-to-paycheck life.
And Nicole, when you have one of those big months, you get ahead. And then pretty soon you're out of debt, and now you're really making progress.
Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life. Arnell is with us to start off this hour in West Palm Beach, Florida. Hey, Arnell, what's up?
Hi, Dave. Hi, Dr. John. How are you both?
Better than we deserve, brother. What's up?
Thank you for taking my call. I wanted to get some advice on how we can stay motivated. We have followed the baby steps for a couple of years now. We had completed baby step 2, baby step 3, and we basically fell off the bandwagon over a period of time, and now we're back in baby step 2 from a series of choices that we made. And so I just wanted to, see how we could stay motivated to stick with it so that we don't end up paying off the debt just to fall right back into it again.
Why were you getting out of debt the first time?
Mainly,
Why did it sound like a good idea to you?
Yeah. Mainly the financial freedom, knowing that our money is for us to use for things for the future instead of paying for things in the past.
Why are you getting out of debt this time?
It's sort of the same thing, but also just kind of practically just to free up some extra money in our monthly budget.
Yeah, you're not going to make it.
Nope. Not going to make it.
You're going to fall off again. But I can help you. It's not all bad news. Your issue is your why.
Mm-hmm.
Why you're doing it isn't big enough. Why you're doing it right now is, it'd be okay, and we might be better off, and we might get us some more stuff if we had more money. Instead of like, I want to change my family tree. I want to look in the eyes of my grandchildren someday and tell them I was old man Vanderbilt. I was old man Rockefeller that started this dadgum thing. No one's going to take over this branch of the family tree and take their house ever freaking again. See the difference?
Right. Yes.
Your why is kind of casual.
Right.
Instead of visceral. So you guys need to, there has to be a nobility to this. I want to change my family tree. I want to be outrageously generous. It has to be other-centered rather than self-centered, or you won't stick with it. The people that quit drinking that are alcoholics never do it for themselves. They always do it for someone else or something bigger.
Right.
Same thing.
You guys have to come up with a new identity.
Mm-hmm.
As our friend James Clear said, like, you've got to say, not, I'm gonna do this. We are a family
that doesn't borrow money.
Doesn't borrow money.
And the reason we don't borrow money is we don't like being broke. And the reason we don't like being broke is we can't be generous. And I don't want to retire and my kids have to take care of me because we know social insecurity is not going to do it.
There you go. I want to be able to, when gas prices go to $5 a gallon, I want to be annoyed, not crippled. I want to be like, oh man, I don't want to wonder, oh no, how are we going to pay our bills? I want to be able to sleep. I want to be able to breathe. I want to be able to laugh. You got to have a much bigger understanding of why you're doing this.
Yeah. And if you get a bigger why, you have a better chance of sticking it out.
Here's where I've seen this happen.
It's mildly inconvenient. You will keep smoking.
Oh, yeah. If it's just annoying or you just stink a little bit.
My wife doesn't like my breath. That's not enough.
She's not kissing anyway. Here's the thing. Y'all go out and paint a picture of what this could look like and work backwards.
Yeah, a big, beautiful picture in great detail. High-definition picture, not vague, pastels. I'm talking about.
Where is the house?
I want to see the beads of sweat on the forehead when we're at the beach.
Where are the kids going to school? How much money are you giving away on a Wednesday night just to be super generous? Like, what does it look like?
How would it feel to walk over and buy a single mom a car for $2,000 and not notice? How would it feel to pay for the adoption of a kid coming out of foster care so that adoptive family could afford to do it, and that kid's life has changed and that family has changed, and you get to stand back and cause that to happen?
Right.
Outrageous generosity. You got to have stuff like that in your head, man, because it's just like, it'd be good not to have payments. It just won't do it, man.
That shiny car.
It's a true statement. It would be good not to have payments, but you need as Simon Sinek says, start with why.
Salesmen know that trick. Like, I probably shouldn't buy it. They know that trick. It's really hard to hit your head up against, no, this is not who I am.
Yeah.
You can't sell over that.
Ramseys don't borrow money.
Yeah.
Ramseys are always generous.
Yeah, it's just his
Ramseys are, you fill in the blank. This is who we are. And, I told my daughters growing up, when they were little, I said, Ramsey girls are smart and pretty.
Yeah.
And when they're grown women at their rehearsal dinner, their dad looks across, and I said, what's a Ramsey girl? Mm-hmm. And she's still smart and pretty. You can ask her today, and she's 35 years old. You can ask her what a Ramsey girl is. And neither one of them are Ramsey girls anymore.
That's right.
They're now Cruz and Whittemores, right?
All right, so help me with this, Dave. Let's turn the tables. Help me with my parenting and mental health. So the other day, I walk out the door, and I tell my daughter, who's 6, good morning, baby. And I kissed her on the head, and she lost it. All you ever tell me is that I'm brilliant and beautiful and strong. I can't take it anymore. I don't want to hear it anymore. And I was like, I told Sheila.
All right, Mr. PhD, you know what that is? She's wanting you to say it more.
I told Sheila, I said, I didn't have this class in grad school. I don't know what to say to this.
What, mean 7-year-olds?
She said the other day, she goes, you don't have to keep saying it, Dad.
Yes,
I know.
you do.
And I said, I must say it every day of your
I want
life.
I want you to just be so sick of me.
You're going to have to be married to that guy for
'cause you know what?
20 years.
What'll happen is when some 16-year-old or 17-year-old little predator comes into her life, she's going to remember that she's a precious child of God, and she's special, and she's going to be looking at him going, you've got to be kidding me.
Yes.
It won't even occur to her that she's a victim of some guy like that.
Yeah.
You have got to be kidding me.
Or she's going to run up against a math test and think, I can't do this. She's going to go, nope. I'm smart.
And I'm pretty.
I'm brilliant. I can do this.
I'm pretty.
Somebody's going to say, you have a weird face. And she can say, no, I'm beautiful. I know I am.
Yeah. You apparently have eye trouble because my dad said that I was smart and pretty.
And his mustache is bigger than your gross, stringy 16-year-old mustache. Gross.
No such thing.
There is.
No such thing as a 15-year-old mustache. Brought to you by YRefi. Refinance your defaulted private student loans today at yrefi.com/Ramsey.
Do you all personally own any physical precious metals, gems, have visas, or even ammunition for the purpose of protecting against societal collapse?
Great question. I got just a guy here to answer that. The only guy I know who's actually mentioned the word societal collapse, Dr. John Deloney.
Tell me what's going on in your heart, man.
Well, thank you very much for taking the call again. And, I have 2 young girls. I'm an aspiring grandfather. I'm pretty young. I'm looking at the national debt and how we're really getting into significant debts. And I could imagine in several decades it being unmanageable and perhaps collapsing the dollar. And I don't think Trump or Musk can fix it. And even if they could, I don't think that could be sustained long enough to where, you wouldn't cause huge civil unrest.
So, as a guy who's a fellow worrier and a guy who's a fellow looking to the future to always try to read the tea leaves so I can start doing things now, right? I'm with you. And the national debt, it super concerns me. And somebody sent me a video of Ronald Reagan doing a speech before he was president, and he was talking about the national debt. And so was the next president, and on. Like, so it's been something that's been in the air and in the water for a long time. It's a problem. It's got to get solved. I also saw a thing today that Waymo has like 2,000 automated cars that are about to start doing like Uber type driving in your area in Phoenix, right? Why do I bring that up? Dude, who knows what 10, 20, 30 years are going to look like from now? And what I do know is this, that when you gin up a story about you have confirmed in your mind about a tragedy that's coming your way even 20, 30, 40 years away, your body responds as though it's happening right now. And it takes you away from critical thinking in the current moment, and it takes you away from being present from those precious little girls that you want to preserve their livelihood and their way of life into the future. And so here's a couple of ways that I have dealt with this. Number one, going back to the basics. As my friend Dr. Lane Norton says, I don't step over $100 bills to pick up nickels anymore. So before I'm going to get into precious metals and bullets, I'm going to say, do I owe anybody any money? As for me and my family, are we actually free? And I'm going to work really hard to do that, right? Before I get into some like biohacks, I'm going to go to the gym. And I'm going to start exercising, and I'm going to start eating right. I'm going to start there, and then I'll start hacking around the edges. The second thing is the data on collapses. One of the greatest hedges, if not the greatest hedge you can have, is robust, connected relationships with your neighbors. They trust you, you trust them, and y'all solve problems together. And that doesn't get a lot of press, and you can't buy that off of Amazon. And so if you are truly, truly concerned about the US dollar going away and the world imploding, really get to know the people around you. Have them over for dinner. Become friends with them. Talk about values. Go fishing together. You don't have any water in Phoenix, so I don't know, maybe go for a walk in the desert. But that's not sexy, and that's not cool, and that's not in a John Wick movie. But that's the truth and the reality. Then, no. I don't have hidden jewels in my backyard. I have lots of ammunition, but I travel a lot for hunting and stuff like that. So
it's for other reasons.
Yeah, not for zombie apocalypse stuff. Right. And I've had the misfortune / blessing of being in active shooter situations. I have been to situations where in the aftermath of somebody dying and by gunshot, and it's not what it looks like on TV. And so this idea that I'm good, man, I'll tell you what, it's different in real life. I've also been in some SWAT hostage negotiation training where I was the bad guy. Multiple times I've done this, and it ends terribly for me because they're good at what they do, and I'm not. I just watch a lot of movies. So I'm telling you all that to tell you this. Be present where you are. Don't pick up the $100 bills in front of you. Make sure your family's healthy. Make sure you all love each other and you're connected and you'll have dinner together as much as you can around the table. Make sure you invite your neighbors over and you'll know each other. Do I have a deep freezer with about a year's worth of meat in it? Absolutely I do. Right? So I'm a little bit, okay, maybe. And that proved pretty useful during COVID, right? So there's some little bitty things that are, I would call rational, that make sense. If the US dollar dissolves, your problems will be existentially bigger than, do I have a jar of jewels buried in my backyard? It will be such an epic Wild West scenario that any sort of fantasy to try to think through what you would do and how you'd handle it is futile. It's a waste of time and energy. It's just a distraction from being present with your daughters. What I would recommend is taking a news fast for the next 60 days. Just get off. Turn it off. And do something that's going to be both super boring and drive you a little bit mad, and that will give you peace that you might not have had in a while, and that is get some coloring books and start coloring with your daughters. Get a small wrestling mat from Academy and start wrestling with your daughters. Y'all just have fun. go outside as spring starts to, I mean, y'all are in a perpetual summer, right? But as spring starts to come on board, take your daughters out for hikes in the mountains and become present where you are. And that's not a panacea, and that's not me putting my head in the sand. It's just getting out of that anxious state right into a world that I can actually impact, which is my family, my home right now. You get what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
And that is the least sexy, unfun, yeah, let's get. It's the least of all of that. But this is just me trying to be as practical as I can.
And the more you talk about it, Chris, the more your phone listens and then feeds you ads saying, buy gold, it's all coming crashing down. And here's Robert Kiyosaki telling you, I've seen it all. And so the truth is, when you're talking about societal collapse, you're saying every company in America goes bankrupt, goes to zero. That's what would have to happen for the stock market to collapse and for us to have economic collapse. And if that does happen, gold's not going to solve it. We'd go back to the bartering system, trading for food, water, fuel, and some ammunition.
Yeah, pelts will. Food.
And as Dave Ramsey said, at no time has gold been used as a medium of exchange in a crashed economy since the Roman Empire. So I don't own any gold, and I think if things go down and we make decisions based on fear, we end up poorer, not richer. And so I avoid precious metals. I don't encourage anyone to buy them. If you want to have some for fun, like you would buying some crypto with some fun money, knock yourself out. But I wouldn't use it as a hedge against anything.
Is that helpful at all, brother?
Yes, that helps a lot. Thank you so much for answering that.
Hey, Let me tell you this. Thank you for being a dad that's looking to the future and that's concerned about the direction of our country, about the way people are handling their business. Thank you for being that kind of dad. And then let's close our front door and say, okay, what can I do here? Let's make my bed first. Let's clean up my household, and then let's go to our neighbors, and then we'll go from there.
Why Refi refinances delinquent private student loans for struggling borrowers. Learn more at yrefy.com/Ramsey.
Today's question comes from Sarah in Canada. My husband and I earn about $5,000 a month, and we're $30,000 in debt. We've been looking for a new rental situation, which is challenging in the current market. Out of the blue, one of my husband's clients offered to let us live in one of her homes for $500 a month. My husband will still get paid normally when doing work for her. She is a real rags to riches story and is incredibly generous. And for the first time, we don't have to be scared about whether we can make rent or bills, and our debt will be paid off quickly. My question is this. When you've always been treading water to keep your head just barely above it, how do you learn to kick back and float? How do you let yourself feel safe and breathe for the first time in years? There's a lot in this question, Dave. Here's my thoughts off the top of my head. There is a difference between letting yourself feel safe and breathing and kicking back and floating.
Agreed.
And if you kick back and float, you will never feel safe and you will never be able to breathe. And so I don't want you to ever, quote unquote, kick back and float. I wish there was a sexier way to say this, but you got to practice. You got to practice reminding yourself. You and your husband come up with new words that you give for each other when the other person's starting to get amped up, and you say, hey, let's take a breath. My wife and I did this for years. Anybody healing from trauma does this. You practice it, and you call it out with each other, and over time, your body adjusts to being safe. And I'll also tell you, if you're living in a special rent situation, you're not safe. You got to save up some money and get yourself your own place, because this isn't going to be this way forever. That's my thoughts.
So when we're coaching people with their money, and they're in a highly stressed out, freaked out, they're behind on their bills, their car's about to be repoed, they got a lot of debt. If the first 10 years I did it, it caught me off guard. It would catch me off guard. It no longer does, just because of experience, that when people start doing a budget and then they use the money that they've got and they say, we've got this much money, and on this date we'll have that fixed, on that date we'll have that fixed, on that date we'll have that debt paid off, on that date we'll be debt free, on that date we'll have our emergency fund, based on projecting the budget that's in front of me, and they do their budget for the first time and they're able to extrapolate their future, none of the work is done. Their situation has not changed. Only their ability to see their way out of their situation with a system has changed. That is where you can breathe and feel safe. And their stress level goes down 90%. just by laying out the freaking plan.
There's some research that says people, with the moment you make your first counseling appointment, you start to feel better.
Well, and people cancel their counseling appointment
because they feel better.
Yeah, they feel better. Like they have a big fight, book a marriage counseling appointment, and then they make up.
And then they don't get the help they need.
Then they don't get the help, and they cancel the appointment. It happens all the time.
Yeah.
The same thing happens when you do a budget. Even though you still have your bills are out there screwed up, everything's still up in the air. It's still a mess. But now you can see how you're going to get out. The stress level drops 90%. And that's when you can breathe and feel safe. So you need to project this temporary rent situation that you have out and say, we're going to be out of debt here, and we're going to move out of this voluntarily before the generosity of the sweet lady runs out, and you change your narrative about the way you look at her because suddenly she actually wants to collect rent. And so...
and all that's different than kicking back and floating.
Yeah,
doing
but you
nothing,
feel
right?
safe because of your plan. You breathe because of your plan, because you can. We have a thing we're doing here. We're working the baby steps. We're on a budget. We can see the progress. We can see a future that is bright. There's a vision for our life, and your stress level goes down, and you breathe and feel safe. But you're not kicking back and floating. You're busting it with great intensity.
That's right.
So yeah, I agree with you to separate those two statements, and I think you're wanting something you should probably never get, which is to do nothing.
Don't ever
want to do nothing.
Strive to do nothing.
Yeah.
Resting is not nothing. Resting
there's
is
no
not
joy
neutral.
in it. There's no joy in it.
You got to rest, and rest isn't. That's not what we're saying. And you got to sleep. It's not what we're saying. Those are critical parts to being well. But you got to be intentional about rest. You got to be intentional about sleep.
You feel safe and breathe while you're getting crap done.
Absolutely. That's how you feel safe. Is having purpose and working towards something.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point. There's this empty nothingness thing. I mean, these chambers that they've got at these things now, where you can go float. And all that stuff. Yeah. It's that is not. I mean, it's fine to do, and I'm not mad at it. It's nothing like that.
It's not a way of life.
But you don't want your life to be that.
No.
You want your life to be, I'm climbing a mountain.
And
my life is, I'm going on a hike.
Me and Pat Lencioni are talking about that. Our whole culture's set up for that. The goal is
we work to do nothing.
To do nothing. To get to the end of the day and sit in your recliner and kick it back so you can do nothing.
No.
What a lame, terrible
Which is why
life.
people die right after they retire.